I'm going to call this meeting to order. The meeting of the Town of Auburn School Committee is being conducted both in person and remotely, consistent with Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022, which suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in the publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members are allowed to participate remotely as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For the public to join the meeting remotely through Zoom, please use the link posted on the agenda on the town's website. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body is available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using that posted agenda. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. Thank you. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
The vision of the Auburn Public Schools is to educate and prepare students for the opportunities and challenges of a changing world. Our commitment: we will create, maintain, and support an environment that fosters a sense of belonging for all students in our schools, respecting race, color, sex, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, homelessness, poverty, spoken language, and ability.
All right, thank you, Meg. All right, we'll move on to citizens' comments. Per the school committee policy BEDH, speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes to present their material and must begin their comments by stating their name and town precinct. The public comment section shall not exceed 15 minutes, and all speakers are encouraged to present their comments in a respectful manner. Topics for discussion should be limited to those items within the school committee's scope of authority. Review and approval of the school district budget, the performance of the superintendent, and the policies of the district. Do we have any citizens here to comment? Any Zoomers wish to comment? Can they hear me?
They can, yeah.
Oh, we do have one. Okay. All right, come on up. Just remember to state your name and in 3 minutes. Yep. Start a time. I got it.
Good evening, Dr. Chamberlain, members of the school committee. My name is Christian Adamiak. I'm from Precinct 2. It's kind of a question comment, but it has to do with the, I understand there's a draft budget, and I'm just trying to figure out, I know there's ongoing teacher negotiations, so I'm trying to figure out how that's being factored into the budget.
So we had hoped to present a draft budget this evening, was continue to work with the town around the creation of the budget. It's going to be a tricky process because by the bylaws of the town, we have to present the town with a budget. I think this year it's January 4th. We have to put forward something. All I can say is it is considered a draft budget. So it is not a final budget. It's not the end of the road. So we will do our best to do what we can with what we know and how we know things are going. So it's really all I can say. It's my first rodeo with all of this.
Good luck with that.
We're trying to be, we're in the position that we're working with all these folks and the town. And so my intent this evening in kind of a different process was to present, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Is to present the school committee with a draft. So they had time to look at it before we do our actual presentations, which right now is scheduled to happen in a couple of weeks. But I will wait and see if that happens in a couple of weeks. But again, we have to have something to the town by early January.
Yeah, I was just asking as a concerned citizen and, in light of like recent strikes that have been happening around the town. So.
Very concerning. I agree.
And if I could add one more thing, we're definitely trying to balance the needs of our staff and faculty and respecting the taxpayers of this town. The taxpayers have been very supportive year after year. So it's really important for us to, try and weigh both of those equally.
Yeah, and I've had 2 kids go through the school system. It's a great school system. We have wonderful teachers. So I just want to make sure that they're, obviously rewarded for that. So.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No one on there either? Okay, all right. I guess we will move on to special recognitions.
None tonight, Madam Chair.
All right, I'll seek approval for the minutes from November 14th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from November 4th, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and as a vote. All right, we'll move on to the student representatives report. I see we have a new
We do.
addition tonight.
So before I go into the update, I'm going to introduce my friend Molly to you, who will be taking over when I graduate next year. So if you want to.
Hi, my name's Molly Hilditch. I'm the junior student representative.
Welcome, Molly.
Welcome, Molly. Happy to have you.
So things that have happened so far. I know last time I was here, I talked about the leaf raking fundraiser. So it was over 100 lawns that had signed up for it. And as a whole, they received around and over $2,500 in donations,
Wow.
which will be split between the junior and senior classes, proportional to the volunteers. I was not able to attend. I had work, but I know Molly did. So how did that go?
It went really well. I feel like working together was a good bonding experience for a lot of the students, and we had a lot of fun doing it and helping out the community.
It's excellent. Yeah.
I think it was one of our most successful years. The other fundraiser happening right now is No Shave November, which is a fundraiser for men's health with a focus specifically on prostate cancer prevention and research. So there are a couple male teachers and students that have signed up to participate, so they will not shave their faces for the entire month of November. And on the last day, they have to come to school with a beard shaped in whatever hideous style that we vote for, as students and teachers can vote. And the way that they do that is we have collection jars with pictures of the styles on them, and you throw loose change, cash in there, and whichever one has collected the most money is what they have to show up as. And we collected some today, and I believe as of now, it's still in the beginning. There's a Guy Fieri situation
Oh.
with like a bleach spot, like
Yeah.
with color. Yeah, so I think that one last time too. That's my personal vote. I did shove some cash in there because it's the most hideous one. There's one that's like half of your face. So that's exciting. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
Gotta be there for that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And another fundraiser, there's a food drive happening specifically for our homerooms. We are bringing in canned goods and shelf-stable items to be donated to AYFS. The homeroom with the most donations will get donuts next Wednesday, so there's a little incentive. And as of this week, Dr. Fridella's room is in first place. But again, it's still early, so we have time to hold on this one. And in terms of what's coming up, the Thanksgiving Day game is in Leicester this year, and you can actually buy tickets beforehand. I know they're selling them to students in the athletic director's office during school hours Monday and Tuesday. It's $10 cash. And for next week, it's a short week, so we only have like 2-3 days. There is a lip sync battle during the Thanksgiving ceremony, which I saw it last year, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And I know that the videos will be released on Facebook or wherever they share that. I have a couple friends doing it, and I don't know anything else about it because it's all very hush-hush. It's a secret. It's a competition, but I know Molly is participating, so see if she can give you anything. She might not because it's competitive.
I'm going to keep it a secret what the juniors are doing, but it's a really fun experience. A lot of the kids get to come together in the different grades, and it's a lot of fun for the whole school. And it's a good send-off for the Thanksgiving break.
Excellent.
I foresee a Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing. What I foresee.
The chair, I just have to say that these theme days have gotten so much cooler since I went through the Auburn school system.
Oh, yeah. So fun.
Full
Amazing.
color day.
Very
So
creative.
creative. I love it.
Is there a bead challenge too?
Yes, I believe there's a bead challenge. Do you?
Right? I think everybody's going to get a set of beads when they walk in.
Oh, yes.
And then it's rock, paper, scissors. And
Yes.
if you win, you get the beads.
Okay.
And then
They're
the
like Mardi Gras necklaces.
Yeah. And then the one at the end of the day, I guess, with the most beads
Yes.
is something. So,
Mhm.
yeah. I thought that was fun. Right?
Yeah. Love that.
That's what I have. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
Molly, I believe you're on varsity soccer. You guys had a big year this year. Yeah. Do you want to tell the rest of the committee how far you made it?
So Auburn girls soccer had a very good year this year. Auburn girls soccer had a very good year. We made it to the first round of playoffs, and we ended up winning that game. It was really exciting. We had a really good season record. I think it was like 14-2 and something for Ty, but we had a really good season. It was a lot of fun.
That's great.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was hoping you guys would win that next game,
Yeah.
but yeah, but very great job, great season.
Thank
so
you.
It was fun to watch. Okay, well, thank you, ladies.
You.
All right, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, Madam Chair, this evening we have some folks from the Auburn High School Fall Musical that are here to speak with us. I think Mrs. LeBaume is going to kick us off.
Good evening. So we were really excited this year to welcome back our fall productions. I don't think we'd had a fall musical production or theater production since before COVID. We've held spring, but it was nice to have a fall production back in action. This year, the students performed a variation of Your Good Man, Charlie Brown. It was a very wonderful, successful, fantastically talented group that we have, and we have, I believe, 3 or 4 representatives here tonight to speak about their experience and share it with you.
Awesome.
Come on up. We're a friendly group, not to worry.
Hi everybody. My name is Zoe Brulette. I am actually the vice president of the drama club at
There are a lot of directions here.
I'm the man behind the curtain.
I'm the vice president of the drama club at Auburn High School, and this year I played Snoopy in our rendition of Your Good Man, Charlie Brown.
I'm Keela Papirski. I'm a senior. I'm not on the e-board, but I played Lucy Van Pelt in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Hi, I'm Emily Gilardo. I am also not on the e-board, sadly. Yet. We'll wait for that. I am a sophomore, and I played Woodstock.
Hi, I'm Tobin. I'm a freshman. I'm not on the board, and I played Linus.
Awesome.
Great.
It was so nice to have a fall musical this year because theater is such a big, important part of, I know, my life and probably these kids' lives too. It's just one big happy family, and it's nice to have so many people come out in every show and see us perform and have so many fans watch our shows. Yeah.
I think that it was nice to have a smaller, more close-knit production this year, as well as having a larger production in the spring, because it allows us just to get closer to one another, especially because most likely we're all coming back for the spring production. And yeah, we couldn't do it without the town of Auburn coming out to support us. When's the next show date?
I'm not sure what the next show date is, but I do know the next show. The next show is Hunchback of Notre Dame. In April, I'm pretty sure the show is. Yeah.
Okay.
Got anything? No one else?
Yeah, I completely agree with Kaylee. I think the closer. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. I was not close enough. I completely agree with her. I think the smaller group was great. It allowed us to get closer to one another and get ready for the next show.
Nice.
Great. Wow. Awesome.
What's the most challenging part about being in a production like that?
You want to take this one?
I think the most challenging part for me was memorizing like lines and just memorizing like choreography in general, because there's so much happening and like you have to find time to breathe and like find time to, you have to study your lines. You don't just like think it once and then they're in there. Like you have to go over it. Like people use flashcards, people use Quizlet, like you write it down in your notebook, and it takes a while and it takes a long time. And I know that you guys only see the final polished version, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think, I mean, obviously you all know that, but it's a little more than people realize.
Well, when you're doing that on top of your schoolwork and all the other stuff, sports, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there is definitely a balance to it.
How long did you guys get to practice for before it went?
I want to say 2 or 3 months, not
okay.
a month, Tobin. I think around 2 months was what it was. We also didn't have a lot of music rehearsals, so we kind of had to do most of that ourselves, and just like listening and repeating. Like my Spotify Wrapped's gonna be full of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown this year.
Nice.
What's the most challenging part?
For me, the most challenging part is definitely finding time to do this because 3 rehearsals a week, which isn't that bad. But then tech week hits, and you're there until 10 p.m. every single day, and it's very tiring. But it's worth the outcome at the end because you feel so accomplished and proud of yourself that you are able to memorize all these songs and lines and choreography. As Kaylee was saying, it's just so rewarding to see everyone come out and see our shows.
Nice.
That's great.
I also think that it's kind of difficult to put yourself in another person's shoes to become a character. And it's not like the method acting where you're that person for 3 months and like you're not being yourself, like Austin Butler for the Elvis movie. I'm not Lucy Van for the rest of my life. But I just think, yeah, just being someone else and like trying to think what they would think, how they would react to a situation, that's pretty hard to grasp for some people.
Absolutely.
I think it was pretty difficult to have the same stage presence with 12 people as we did in like Newsies and Beauty and the Beast with a larger cast.
Yeah, it must change things a lot.
You have to fill the space.
Yeah.
A lot more spotlight is on you as an
It's
individual.
so bright. It's so hot in there.
Oh, yeah.
The hardest part is actually not being in a big felt costume and sweating on a
Trying not to
doghouse.
sweat.
Really, yeah. Yep. So did you guys have to sing too?
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
part- Oh, it was. So
Yeah.
it was-
The opening number was like 4 minutes long,
Oh,
no
wow.
breaks. It's like the highest you can have to sing. No time to breathe. You're like up and down blocks. You're spinning around. You're jumping around. Like
You're on a doghouse.
you're on a doghouse.
You fall off the
You fall off
doghouse.
the doghouse. You know. It is a process.
Do any of you see theater or in your future beyond high school?
I do. I want to major in musical theater in college and hopefully go on farther than just college theater. Broadway is where I want to head. But right now, the theater now with 2 shows is really prepping me to have more stuff weigh on me because you have to be really fast in these shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something I want to do like for the rest of my life, but I definitely think that it's a good way to get my singing fill. It's a good way to like, I don't know. I like how it also gives you a group of people to rely on. It's just the same thing as a sports team. Like you find your people and they are your people for as long as you're at the wherever you are. And I think that's also something that's really important because I met half these people. Well, I didn't do it as a freshman, but as a sophomore. And yeah, like some of them have graduated, some of them are gone, but you know, her sister's gone. We keep a close tie with everyone, and you know, we get our like, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Family? I don't
No,
know. Family?
nepo babies. Like I don't know.
I don't know where you're going.
Legacies. That's the word. Legacies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you guys all going to move on to the spring show? You think?
We're already jumping into that.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Beginning of December, we get like 2 weeks off.
Wow.
Thanksgiving off. Right back into it.
Auditions.
And then winter sports start up. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Hunchback Notre Dame is already in my recently played
My
list.
goodness.
Oh,
There you go.
There we go.
I've still never watched the movie. Daily that.
We're gonna have to do like a screen.
We're gonna have to
together.
have a movie night.
oh yeah,
You know.
definitely.
You know how it is, obviously.
Well, we appreciate you coming in to talk to us. We appreciate you putting through the effort along with all the other castmates who did that. And, you make Auburn High School a better place for bringing your talent to it. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Come up and shake
Yeah,
hands on the
sure.
way
Yeah.
out.
Oh, guys.
So you guys don't have to stay for the whole meeting, so you can come on up, we'll shake hands, and you can go on your merry way. How's that? We're not that mean that we'd make you stay for the whole meeting.
It was great.
Thank you so much.
Great
Nicely
job.
done.
It was
Nicely
great
done.
job.
Good to see you.
Good luck.
Good
Yes,
job. I remember you. Aw, thank you so much. Nice to meet you, and we'll see you again. Great job.
A sophomore. Okay, great. You got more shows.
We don't talk about it.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank
So many more shows. I can't wait. Welcome to the team.
Nice to see you.
Hey, have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, we had a lot of catching up to do. Bye.
Bye, Bella.
Bye, Bella.
Bye, Bella.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Bella. Thank you.
Oh, that was great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't wait to get her. Yeah.
That's awesome. So good to hear
Can't
from you.
sing, so. Yep. All right. Move on to unfinished business.
So the first item, in your packet, you'll find a November 2023 update to my performance goals for this year. So much as I did last year, several times throughout the year, I'll just give you a little bit of an update. I changed the format a little bit because to try and keep from all the flipping pages and everything. Again, it's a brief update. The first was a student learning goal that was based on a data analysis cycle at all levels related to ELA and math. We continue to work to build those processes into place in each of our school buildings in each grade level. I've completed MCAS data discussions with Swiss, the middle school and the high school, and building-based teams continue to work on that. I've also had iReady and Dibbles discussions with the folks at Bryn Mawr and Packagug since they don't do MCAS. We've talked a lot about intervention and extension activities related to what the data has shown us. I've completed classroom visits at Pack, Bryn Mawr, Swiss, and actually the middle school as well. And Universal Design for Learning coaches have been working in their own classrooms, and I've seen some opportunities for them to give support to their colleagues. So all tied to making sure that we're looking at our subgroups and adapting our instruction accordingly to support the needs of various students. My professional practice goal actually had two goals embedded in there, one being second year of my new superintendent induction program. I actually had a 3-hour Zoom meeting today, so I continue to participate in all of those, and I meet and speak with my coach regularly. And then the second one was around ongoing training with the principals on restorative practices for Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 interventions. As you know, last summer I completed Tier 1. We do use the circles practice in all of our principal and leadership team meetings, and it really does make a difference. So I continue to try and model that. The first district improvement goal was, again, through our leadership team, devoting at least 40% of our time this year, deepening our knowledge of bias, racial identity, the 4 I's of racism, and reflecting on how they might be contributing to inequitable experiences. So this year so far, some of the topics at our meetings have included Halloween during the school day, which was a big one. I don't know if anyone saw, there were several towns that had quite a big hullabaloo, but kids were able to have some fun. It just didn't have to be Halloween, so no one had to miss the day, stay home, leave early because it was something that was against their own beliefs. So I think that was a win. We continue to look very closely at our subgroups, which is a big place where we do find inequities, and we do have subgroups that don't perform necessarily as well as our all-student group. This is specifically special education. We've talked a lot about content at our musical performances across the district to make sure that those are equitable and inclusive and meet the needs of all the families. We've been working certainly on families who are homeless or don't speak English, and collaborating with families who may be frustrated with some of the enhancements that go along with that. So it's definitely on the top of our radar, and I think principals have become used to kind of coming to the meeting, and Jen can attest to that, as they come across an issue that's related to equity or inclusivity. We're all getting better about bringing those to the table so that we can all learn from those. So I think that's been a real step in the right direction. The second district improvement goal was around the onboarding process of non-all personnel. So I have another webinar scheduled for the next phase of this, and we're getting there as far as ramping up our personnel process. That's been a bit of a bear, but we're getting there slowly but surely. The district improvement goal number 3 was around giving updates around the strategic plan. So last week, 4 of us attended the MASC conference, and I got some great ideas on better ways to get the information out to the community. Very often a strategic plan will be created, put on a shelf, and never talked about again. But I got some really good tips about using social media to get out little bits of information, and how much more effective it is for people to get their attention, and to make sure that they're hearing what's going on. So I'm excited about that. That was a really good takeaway from that programming. And the last one has to do with the follow-through on the development of facilities committee to make sure that the school building meets the needs of our staff and students. So after the December break, I'll be putting together a committee to just start to take some tours of buildings, to look at how we're using space, if our space is adequate, if any changes are needed in the future. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about any of those.
Who would be on the facilities? Not actual people, but like what, we have stakeholders on there and.
Yeah, so this actually came up at a school committee meeting last year, and I think from the committee, I think Meg had offered to be on that. Mr. Fahey, Caleb Moody from the town building inspector, and I was going to ask either fire or police to join us to kind of look at it. This isn't a study, this isn't anything big and formal, but to really take a look at what's our current enrollment. We haven't looked at that in a long time. How are our spaces filled? How are they laid out? Is there anything we can do to improve? So it's an informal look at it at this point.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, any more questions or comments for Beth?
No.
Oh, seeing none. All righty, thank you, Beth.
Thank you. The next item, I'll just reiterate, the intention was to provide you with a first draft this evening of the budget, but given a recent discussion late yesterday afternoon with town leadership, we've determined that some revisions to that initial draft are necessary, and we were not able to get those together for this evening. We're going to work really hard to maintain the budget timeline. As I sent earlier, we are required to bring forward a draft budget to the town. I'm pretty sure it's January 4th or 5th, one of those dates at the beginning of January. And so between now and then, we have 2 additional meetings, one at the end of November and then one in mid-December. So we're going to have to figure that out. So we have to put something forward. As the gentleman attested, it's a complicated process in the state that we're in, but nonetheless, we are required to do it. So we will do the best we can.
Okay.
And again, it is a draft that goes forward.
Okay, any questions or comments concerning? All right, to be continued.
To be continued. The next section of the policy update. So this is the third reading of the fiscal, a number of updated policies related to fiscal management, grant management, budget planning, grants, all of that. I don't know if anyone has any questions about any of those, but this would be the time that we would take action if the board chooses to move those policies forward.
Okay, any questions or concerns with the policies presented?
I just want to make sure, because I wrote everything down. No, not on this batch.
Putting Steph on the policy committee, by the way.
This batch was fine.
Thank you, Steph.
Yes.
you.
Yep.
All right, I will seek a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the updates to policy DA, BD, DBD, DBG, DD, DIE, DI, DJ, DJA, and DJE.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Can you just repeat that one more time?
All right,
Thought you guys were testing my ABCs again. I'm good, though.
there goes my pen. All right, it's fine. I have a pencil backup. All right.
All right.
All right, we will move on to new business.
So new business. In your packet, you're going to find our current policies related to out-of-state. Are they both here? Or are these just the new ones? I think these are just the new ones. Yeah. So we'll have to get you the ones that are currently in place. These are the new ones. Related to out-of-state and overnight field trips. We've had a number of recent requests for out-of-country field trips. And given the unrest around the world, it seemed prudent to revisit these policies to ensure that our students and staff are well supported and well protected. I am looking, this may be something that we'll revisit at a subsequent meeting, giving you a chance to read these policies, create any questions you might have, and we will also forward you our current policies related to field trips. But it does seem that it's becoming, or could become, a little bit more tricky, number one, to travel internationally. Not saying we can't do it, but I think we have to think carefully about it, given the state of the world. I also think that this becomes an equity issue when we look at the cost, because some of these trips now are becoming really exorbitant. And I will tell you, our staff does a great job with trying to work out fundraising opportunities and all of that. But nonetheless, it could potentially preclude students from being able to go. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or thoughts that they'd like to share, any thoughts about what they'd like to see me prepare for you prior to our next discussion about this. But I thought this was a start because I did visit MASC, and these are a couple of items that we don't have in our current policies at all. These are totally separate, so.
And through the chair, if like there was a student with a medical need, I went last year at the MASC conference, I went to one on that, and we can't really file for reciprocity with like anyone licensed like a nurse. So that would be something to look at. I don't remember the exacts of it. It was a year ago, but just to make sure if there are kids with medical needs that we have someone who's licensed in whatever country it is they're going to.
And through the chair, I'm just curious about like if other schools have like an age limit, like they will only let high school and up go out of the country, and then like, and they'll let like 6 and up, you know, go overnight. Like I'm questioning like if what other districts have.
Yeah, so I did put out to my Worcester County superintendents, and I didn't get a lot of variation back as far as real specifics that they had, even though most of the ones that I heard from said that they only allow one major trip out of their high school each year. So they can't have any multiple groups going. I think potentially there could be an overlap of students who might want to do both, right? And that just being too much. I also know that there are middle schools that don't even allow overnight trips. So that they push all of that to high school. So there are places that do that.
Same thing like with the medical concern. Like if you're going, I'm not sure how it works with nursing in like the United States, but if you have an overnight trip to like New York, for example, and you can't get a nurse who, I don't know what the rules are, but reciprocity within the states, like, and we have a kid who's diabetic, for example, and needs a nurse there, like we need to figure out how to make that equitable.
I can tell you through the chair in the continental, or no, on all the United States, it's just an application for reciprocity state to state. That's not as, I just don't know what the rules are outside of our country.
Yeah. And you know, like I know that some field trips they'll send the parent along so the parent can monitor, but like, you know, we have to make sure like everyone can go.
Right. So I think this is a bigger discussion, so I will see if there's anything I can find about reciprocity. I'll also look for some more formal policies related to age levels and that kind of thing. I'll widen my circle. I'll put it out to the superintendents across the state versus Worcester County to see what we can find, and we can revisit this. But in the meantime, at least you can look at the two that I've presented to you this evening, and we can revisit those as well to see if they're helpful for us at all.
Great. And through the chair, was the New York trip, the one that the middle school went on last year, was that overnight?
Yes.
Last year it was, yes. But I do not believe the middle school is doing an overnight trip this year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I'm glad to see that we're doing this, especially with the amount of more trips that we're taking.
Yeah.
And they're coming to us about, so I like seeing this. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we should definitely think about putting a cap on the price of a trip. That could be something a policy that we create ourselves. And I also would like to see, you know, over the years now, COVID obviously was a mess, but prior to that, how many field trips we were taking compared to what we're trying to do now. So the difference of the two. It does seem like there is an influx of requests lately. And making sure, well, it's touch and go. Like if the climate of the country and the world, you know, it might be a last minute decision to cancel. And I think people should be aware of that too, going into these trips.
Through the chair, I like that concept of putting in there in the language, like the school committee and the superintendent or the school committee will decide, you know, based on what's happening in the world. Because there's certain places you just shouldn't go right now.
And it changes every day. So
it should be language in there that says we have the right to cancel the trip as needed for safety of the students.
yeah, and maybe there's an insurance policy that they should take out, or, you know, whatever it may be.
They have to though take out the insurance.
Some
I think
trips.
it's like they can decide if.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if any of them you have to.
Yeah. But even now, you know, there's a big demonstration in Washington D.C. This week, right? And I don't recall seeing anything that it was violent or anything, but we do have to be conscious of where we're sending our kids when we have staff in charge of them and making sure that it's a safe environment, no matter where it is, in the United States or outside. So that's a good start for some things that I can look at, and I will do that, and we will revisit this topic at another meeting.
All right, great. Okay, I think I lost my place, so, Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, next item of the Chamber of Commerce mini grant winners. Each year at this time, I share with you, this year, the staff members listed below are the 2023-2024 mini grant winners from the Chamber of Commerce. This year, they were eligible to be able to apply for up to $500. It typically, for a long time, had been $250.
Oh, great.
So the chamber upped that amount. We thank them for their generosity, along with just the care and support that they show us throughout the year. They really are an amazing support to us. But these folks will certainly, their efforts will enhance the learning experience of our kids. So Kim Sicarella at the middle school, Jenna Bailey at Bryn Mawr, and that should actually say Bryn Mawr and Pack, Haley Dagno at Bryn Mawr, Sarah Schofield at Bryn Mawr, Kristen Sandberg at Bryn Mawr, Sue Shanice at Bryn Mawr, Stephanie Fontaine at Swiss, and Dr. Lopez at Swiss. So some of these, about a healthy body, molding minds has to do with clay. Clay can be very expensive, and it gives them an opportunity to do that. It All Matters is a science-based project. The snazzy sight word has to do with some OT movement and some writing opportunities for kids. Yep. Kristen's was getting techie with it. They're called B-bots. B-bots, is that what they are? Little kind of robot-y kind of things that she got for her class. Wellness Wednesday, I think, were yoga mats so that the kids can do some kind of stretching and having like formal kind of movement breaks. Stephanie Fontaine got a enormous, which I can't wait to see, place value chart. So I think she was going to put that someplace very big for kids to use. And then Dr. Lopez, at the beginning of the year, the schools do a PBIS review of how to behave in different areas of the school. And so they're looking for some props and to do some skits related to that. They did a little bit of that this year already, and they realized that the props would have made it much better. I wondered if they were buying a toilet because there was discussion about how to behave in the bathroom kind of thing, and they didn't know what they would do with that. But anyway, so a lot of good things. And again, we thank the Chamber of Commerce and all the support that they give to the schools. And actually, they hope, while we have a captive audience here, for many more applications for grants, because they didn't give away all this money, all the money they could have this year. So please feel free to apply. It's not a hard process, and they are happy to give you the money. So.
It's great. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, but also thank you to these teachers that went above and beyond to go after those grants.
Chair, they got really big checks, right?
Yeah, they do. They show up with the really big checks and the balloons, and we go into the class and surprise them. And,
My son has Mrs. Fontaine and was very excited about this very big check.
Oh, it happens in front of the kids?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
I like getting techie with it.
Yeah, that's cute. Great. All right. We'll move on to teaching and learning report.
So as you will see, Mr. Keller is not here with us this evening. So Monday evening through tonight, Wednesday, a team of educators from Auburn High School and here on a DESE-promoted learning excursion to Casco Bay High School in Portland, Maine. We applied for this last November, were accepted, and they've been preparing for this PD opportunity. Dan was supposed to go, was unable to due to a family issue. But April White, Nicole Vecchio, Karen Ballway, Jim Adams, and Alan are visiting a school of students, over about 400 students, where relationship building and personalized instruction are the hallmark of their community. So they have been nationally regarded as one of the top high schools in the country for that kind of thing. So these focus areas align with our initiatives, relationship mapping and universal design for learning. So he's hoping at maybe the next meeting, he'll be able to share with you some of the things. I've been checking in with them, and seemingly it's been a terrific experience. They've had some excellent student ambassadors, along with some work with other educators and administrators. So yeah, really exciting stuff. And it didn't cost us really anything. It was all funded through this DESE thing that we applied for. So the accommodations and the whole bit were provided. So that was exciting.
Great. Awesome. All right. And we don't have Cecilia either.
Mrs. Worsbicky is representing us at a meeting with the town this evening, so she was unable to be here, but she has provided a year-to-date budget report dated October 27th, 2023 for your review. And she has also provided a list of budget transfers dated October 30th between the same series for your information and between different series, for which she is seeking your approval.
Okay, any questions or discussion about that? All right, I'll seek a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the list of transfers dated 10/30/23 as presented by the business manager.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All righty. And that's about it for tonight, right?
Is it for tonight?
And we do need executive session,
Yes, we do.
so seek a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss bargaining positions with the personnel that could be compromised if discussed in open session. We will not return to open session.
All right, roll call vote. Sam?
Here.
Say yes.
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Meg?
Yeah.
Steph?
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.